All right. So, you're going to see the title of this and go, Earl frustrated. Really? And, yeah, I'm a little frustrated. So, but, don't worry, it's nothing that's too... So, here are my frustrations. I had 2 games recorded. The final two games, which gives you some idea of how one of them turned out for these playoffs. So I had them both recorded, and they were sitting there, and I had them sort of like all loaded into a program called iMovie, which is a program that I use on my phone, which puts them all together, stitches them nice, and, you know, it gives you those little transitions between the segments, and I could put some pictures in there, so it kind of like puts up like the box scores and all that. And so I was just going to give you guys one video that contained the games that were remaining. So if it had gone a 5th game, the Boston-Cleveland series, if it had gone a 5th game, I was going to combine it and then make basically a big long video. And I had started to edit it, and I just, you know, I guess I just ran out of juice with doing that. So what I was going to do is I was just going to leave it all. I mean, I had a couple of little segments in to sort of like talk through it, and I had the box scores, and I had the bracket that you see as the thumbnail for this video, which is already going to reveal what happened to an extent. But, you know, what did I do? I tried to compile it. It was going to be like an hour and a half. No, not a big deal, except my phone is like, you don't have enough storage. And I'm like looking and trying to figure out, what can I delete? The videos in iMovie... So the compilation, so it had compiled it to this like 720p video, and it was sitting there on like as like six gigs of data. Okay, so it also has the 6 gigs of data that are these individual files in a separate place. I'm like, okay, well maybe I can delete the other videos that fed this, because now this is already compiled this 6 gig video, and all it needs to do is export it. So I delete those videos. I'm thinking, okay, boom, hit the export, saved video. It's like the videos that create this have been deleted. Like, so, and I kind of suspected it would happen. That's probably what irritates me the most. That I kind of suspected it would happen. But, so, the games are lost as far as, like, the coverage, the footage to prove that I'm not just, like, messing around with you guys, and that I've got something against Cleveland and something against the Yankees, which people would probably say, oh, you got something against the Yankees. Surprise, surprise, because you've, like, vented in half your videos about the Yankees. But... in any regard, that's what happened. Game 4, Boston. Actually, I guess what I could do here is I can just give you the quick and dirty. I'll just talk you through it. I'm going to take a look at my score sheets. I've got them here. If you want to read the mirror images of the score box, you know, the box scores, you can see that they're there. You could pause it and... But... Boston took care of Cleveland. Games happen the way they're supposed to. I suppose Tribe fan, but I like... Well, but, okay, let me just get through this, and then I'm going to talk about, not frustrations, but just some little tidbits. Boston wins Game 4, 13-3. I kind of felt like Cleveland would have to leave Cliff Lee for Game 5. He didn't pitch well in Game 1, so they went with Zach Jackson instead. And Jackson did did decent, I would say, until like the third inning. So he had given up a 1-0 lead in the second. Actually got 2 outs in the second, and then hit Alex Cora, shortstop, and then walked J.D. Drew, and then Jed Lowry singled in Cora. So that's kind of how it ended up going for a while there. It's like then in the third, it's like Pedroia double, Jason Bay double, David Ortiz double, and then he kind of settled down, and so 2 runs, but that made it 3-0, and then in the bottom of the fourth, the Indians did mount a bit of a rally. So at that point, it was 3-0. Bottom of the fourth, you get a single for Asdrubal Cabrera playing second. Then after Chu popped up, Johnny Peralta doubled, making it second and third with 1 out. Travis Hafner sacrificed fly to center, scores Cabrera. And then a single for Ryan Garco playing first, scored Peralta. So that made it 3-2. And then a double took Garco to third, but with 2 outs, kind of wanted to send him, but with his 9 running speed, I thought, well, let's try to give Andy Marte a chance to score him, and instead Marte had a ballpark single, and it didn't go his way. Actually, the ballpark singles for righties were 1-7. So it was only a 35% chance that he was going to get the roll, and he didn't. So that ended the rally. So that takes it to the fifth, and then Boston extended it started off with 2 walks and then a double. So that scored Jason Bay. The double was by Kevin Youkilis, and that meant the end of the road for Zach Jackson. They brought in Juan Rincon, and Rincon got them out of that without any further damage, including an ending double play, forcing a runner at home with the infield in. So, but that made it 4-2, and it stayed that way till the 6th, and the 6th is where Boston really broke it open. And, I mean, I remember exactly how it went. So Lowry, who was hitting 9th, he doubled off Rincon. And then Ellsbury went up to bunt, and I had decided that with a 4-2 deficit and with things looking kind of iffy, now after the fact you can kind of think about it and say, well, they only got 3 runs anyway, so 4 already was too many. But I thought, well, they really need to get that lead runner. If they can get that lead runner, they stand a chance. Well, and it was Lowry, who was only a 12, so I think it was a 50-50 chance that they get him at third. And they didn't get him, and so that left Ellsbury at first. So first and third, nobody out. Pedroia singles with the infield in, and then Bay walks. So then they bring in Rich Rundles. Sac fly for Ortiz. That brought home Ellsbury. So that's 2 runs across with 1 out, and then they get the second out on a fly out to center. So there's 2 on, 2 out. You think Rundles is going to get through it, and then comes Jason Varitek, and he gets the 3-4 roll. Home run to a lefty, and so that was a 3-run shot. So that was 5 runs in the inning. And then Rundles gives up a couple more. Loads the bases after that, but then does get out of it on a liner. But that made it 9-2, and then the Indians did pull one back on a solo homer for Shopik. And then Boston tacked on 2 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, a homer for Ortiz in the 7th, 2-run homer. And then they kind of nickeled and dimed another couple runs in the 8th off of Rafael Perez, the lefty. And then, so that was that. Win for Tim Wakefield. So that's the other reason I went with Zach Jackson for the Indians, is that I decided that the Red Sox would use Tim Wakefield and save Lester would save Lester for Game 5 if necessary, but then also he would be available for the first game of this championship series if they could get the victory here. They did, so Lester would start that game. So then who would they face? So this was a Game 5 the next day. Yankees at Angels. and it was Andy Pettitte going against Irvin Santana. So a nice matchup there. And so neither team got anything in the first, and then a 2-out double for the Yankees went for naught with a pop out to the first baseman, Teixeira, to end the top of the second. And then the bottom of the second, single to Vlad Guerrero, who's hitting fourth. So they went 1-2-3 in the first, the Angels did. Then a walk to Matthews Jr., who was playing in left. Made it first and second, nobody out. And then Pettitte hit Napoli. So bases loaded, nobody out. Then you're just thinking, can we get out of this with only maybe a run or so? Well, Kendrys Morales hits a fielder's choice on the ground, which they get one at second, but Morales is able to beat it out. They weren't playing infield in the second. They were trying to get two, but they couldn't. So that left it first and third with a run across, a strikeout for the second out. So it looks like Pettitte might get out of there, but then Eric Ibar singled to score Matthews Jr. to make it 2-0. And then a Torrey Hunter strikeout ended the inning. But and then you go to the 2-0 going to the third. Rob Quinlan batting second and playing third base for Chone Figgins, who has been injured. He singles. Strikeout to Teixeira. Then the next batter is Guerrero. He reaches on an error by Pettitte. Pettitte mishandles what should have been a sure second out there. So then a couple of walks more, and that ended up... So the walk after the error loaded the bases, and then he walked Napoli. That scored run number 3, and then a double play line out got them all out of that, which was fortunate for them. But 3-0, and then in the fourth, another case where they lead off with Brandon Wood getting a single. Ibar, the manager, had him sacrifice him over with a bunt. And then a single from the top of the order for Hunter scored Wood, so that was 4. And then in the fifth, they took out Pettitte. They brought in Jabba Chamberlain, which looked like a favorable thing potentially because some righties coming up. Plus, ERA-wise, Chamberlain has been pretty good, but it went Teixeira double, Guerrero single. That scored Teixeira. And then a walk for Matthews Jr. That single for Guerrero might have been a ballpark single. It was a 1-12 on those. But anyway, so 2 on, nobody out. He gets a fly out from Napoli, and then he hits a batter. So that was like that was a second hit batter. It seemed like there were 3 in this game. But anyway, for the Angels, but only 2, I guess. And then a double by Ibar. So Ibar goes 2 for 4 in this game, with some runs batted in, which was good for him. So 3 runs, that makes it 7-0. Yankees do on a 2-base error by Vlad Guerrero playing out and right in this game. Scores Jeter from second after he had doubled. So made it 7-1, and that's where it ended up playing out. Irvin Santana goes 8 innings. I think he gave up 4 hits in the game total. And I think 1 walk. So, and the 1 run was unearned. So, yeah, I don't have the comments here, but that's where it ended up. The Angels won 7-1. Santana the win, Pettitte the loss. Yankees. So it kind of went like the brackets would typically go, if you know what I'm saying. The best teams in both cases, as far as like how they finished the regular season, won. And so that's what we're going to get. We're going to get, we already had decided that the Chicago Cubs would go to the Dodgers for that NLCS. And the ALCS now is the Angels going to Fenway and the Red Sox for a 7-game series. 2 at Fenway, 3 at Angels, and 2 more at Fenway if necessary. So, okay. And so we ate up 15 minutes with that description. So, So I just want to say I appreciate those who have given me feedback about. I know that there's a lot of sense that I'm trying to figure out where these videos need to go. Like, where are things going with the tabletop sports genre, let's say. And that's a question that I would say I just don't know. I've been involved in big projects and almost exclusively. I don't think I've done anything that is a series of less than like 10 games, aside from I did one a couple of years ago on Facebook. So I will say that I've been involved in big projects almost exclusively, and I don't think that plays out so well. And I don't like feeling as though I'm like putting in effort for videos that are just like filling space. I'm sure that some of you watch, and I'm sure that there are some that maybe cull some information from it, but I also feel like, you know, playing these projects can, you know, I'm not going to do a whole lot that is like against the grain. I'm trying to play it straight up. I'm trying not to like do something dumb, try to take third base with 2 outs, just trying to steal home, trying to double steal, trying to steal with a 30%. You know, it's like there are things you can do that are going to add spice. But so Super Sport says he gets fun out of any videos that are baseball related, and that's great to know. I appreciate you saying that, and I really don't sit there and go into. There is an app. I look at the I think it's the Studio app, YouTube Studio. I look at that mostly because it's easier to see where comments come from. All right, see you, Tribe fan. Apologies for the. Well, I don't want to say apologies. Sorry that you're. I guess that's what I want to say. Sorry that your Indians didn't make it any further. Somewhat surprising that they made the postseason, but where was I? I mean, I don't sit there looking at view times so much. I don't sit there looking at numbers of views. It's not so much the reason why I've been doing this. But I do want to say that I'd like to see us keep taking steps forward and not necessarily spin the wheels either. You know, I don't want to see us. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm saying. So I appreciate. I've gotten some feedback from people who know that I've been tinkering with formats, and again, I really am. A couple of editing videos, trying to like record and then stitch them together and do things to help you guys see what's going on. It's a lot of work, and I don't know as I've seen a ton of reaction either way. None negative, a little bit positive, and I just don't know if the return on investment is great enough. So probably live games will continue to be my strategy going forward when I play games online. Benny Blades is a guy who has been chatting with me some, and he suggests more tutorials, and in response to it, just because I wanted to see how the reaction was, and it was pretty decent. I'd say that it was a pretty good, pretty well watched video, is probably as well watched as the baseball daily stuff that Tabletop Earl put in. Again, I'm saying I'm not looking. I am a little. for the duration of this, I would say for the duration of the Phillies project, I haven't looked, but lately I have, just because I want to make sure that I am focusing in areas that make sense. And so I think tutorials are something that we need to try and do. The trouble that tutorials can bring is that you kind of need a lot of games, if you know what I mean. I mean, how many tutorials am I going to do on Stratomatic? I can do some, but I mean, how many are really going to be that novel? I mean, I don't want to start repeating information over and over again. And I did some on the Tenacious Strat channel, but so how much repetition? So I mean, that leaves it to like History Maker Golf. I have History Maker Baseball. I mean, it's funny, they're all PLAAY games products, which is something that I may have to address here sooner or later, and add some things from some other manufacturers. But again, it's like that continues to be like, okay, investment to be able to produce these videos. So, tutorial videos. And not only that, there's investment, and then I've got to learn a new game, and then I'm providing you a tutorial, but can I really call myself an expert if I've played like 3 or 4 games, getting to know a game, and then I'm like trying to speak about it? It's like, so it's a balance. Let's just say that it's a balance, and we can find stuff. I've also toyed with the idea that maybe where we need to go with some of these videos is a tabletop sports related talk show kind of thing, where we bring in game creators, bring in players, people who have done had accomplishments within what we do here, whether it's big projects, whether it's, and all I would be able to say is those would just be attempts to, I have no clue whether that would work. It's just, sometimes you got to try things, and then when they do or don't work, then you change your tactic. So, when it comes right down to it, I'm just not sure. I'm going to continue to place games on the channel here. Why? I don't know what you guys are kibitzing about, but... Oh, okay. Anyway, I'm somewhat getting distracted here by nonsense, but anyway. I mean, some people would say this is nonsense, but yeah, Manny, I appreciate you saying that. And again, I'm not gonna. I need to play them live. What I might also do is the trouble with streaming them live is that I don't think it shows up very well. I don't think. I think you're gonna listen to my voice, and that might be it. Like, I think the video is somewhat what's the word I'm looking for? Inefficient. It's not I don't think it's efficient, because I think that the resolution is often poor. You're just gonna be able to make out whether it's a hit or an out or a split, and maybe that's okay. We get some views, but I just want to make sure that what I'm doing is, that I'm putting forth effort that makes sense for myself, for my family, for you guys, because I don't want you sitting there looking at a video and say, oh boy, that's another Phillies replay video, or that's another blah 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 video. I mean, I can't. I mean, all I can say is it's from experience, personal experience. I don't always get a chance to watch videos that other creators make, because it's just, there's not enough time in the day. And maybe if it were something remarkable, and sometimes it is, then I am able to. and I make the time for it, and then sometimes I can't buy in because either I don't realize that either I don't realize somebody's getting into something, you know, like I miss the first few episodes and then it's almost like too far gone. B, I don't want to invest in something when I know that so I'm asking you guys to do that. And I guess I'm flattered and I'm humbled that you guys have done that, but I need to figure out how best to make this all work. So I'm forever searching for a holy grail of what works best. And I'm still, you know, I think what I'm coming to the conclusion of is that this genre, this subgenre, is just going to be something that's for the few of us who are into it. And I think the live games offer a chance for people to interact with each other. And so there is some benefit there. But again, I've said it before, I'd be lying to say that I think that people are ultimately drawn in to watch a live Phillies versus Padres at like the, you know, game 126 mark or whatever they happen to play. And I don't know. I think those of you who do, thank you so much for doing that, because it keeps me going to know that there are some who do. But I'd like to figure out if there's more that we can do, more, better, whatever you want to say, more, whether it's excitement, whether it's just something that people can get invested in. And so if you have ideas, my email address, tenaciousstrat@gmail.com. There's the comments section. There's some of you have other ways to send me stuff. By all means, go for it. But I will say that lately I've been pretty busy. I kind of got waylaid into being a soccer coach for my son's team, and it's cool that I am. I've done it once before for my daughter's team several years ago, and I'm not particularly skilled at teaching fundamentals about soccer. I love the sport and haven't played it a ton, but I understand the rules. I understand some of the concepts, but I'm not sure that I'm very effective at putting it into the vernacular that 8- and 9-year-olds will be able to understand. But that's something that is going to take up some time here. And Super Sport says the playback just died. I don't know. I mean, I am going on here a while, so anyway, that's where it stands. I'm going to shut it off here because it's just, I'm going to keep going on and on and on here, and people are going to get sick of that. So I'm not frustrated about the direction of the channel. I'm just frustrated about my videos dying. I deleted them trying something and it ticked me off. Not terribly, but enough that I had to come on here and just say that's what happened. And Jerry, what he says there is right. You guys keep on rolling, and that's another part of this that I need to keep in mind. Is some of this is just, I hope that it motivates people to carry on with projects of their own. So they tend to be grinds. Always will be ups and downs. Always will be times when in life we're busier than others. But in the end, we're doing this for fun, and so let's just keep doing it. And I'll probably try a few more things, and we'll just see how it works out. So thanks. Liking the video would be appreciated. And if you guys want some more, subscribe. Love y'all. Have a great one, and talk to you soon.